April feels like the perfect month to start planting everything. The weather is warming up, days are longer, and the excitement of gardening is at its peak. But here's the truth, most beginners don't know. April is also the month where people make the biggest planting mistakes. Many plants simply don't belong in your garden during this time. If you plant them now, they will struggle, grow poorly, or completely fail. And by the time you realize it, you've already wasted time, money, and effort. Let's go through the plants you should absolutely avoid planting in April. And why? Starting with lettuce. Lettuce is a cool season crop. It loves mild temperatures and grows best when the weather is still slightly cold. But by April, especially in warmer regions, temperatures start rising quickly. When lettuce is exposed to heat, it bolts. That means instead of growing soft leaves, it starts producing flowers and seeds. Once that happens, the leaves become bitter and almost unusable. So if you plant lettuce in April, you're basically setting yourself up for disappointment. Next is spinach. Spinach is another plant that thrives in cool weather. It grows quickly in early spring, but as soon as temperatures rise, it reacts the same way as lettuce, it bolts. The leaves become tough, bitter, and lose their nutritional value. Many gardeners plant spinach in April, thinking it will grow fast. But the heat cuts its life short. Now, let's talk about peas. Peas are one of the earliest crops you should plant. They love cold soil and cool air. By April, especially in many regions, it's already too late. The rising temperatures stress the plant, reduce yield, and can even stop flowering altogether. Instead of a healthy harvest, you end up with weak plants and very few peas. Moving on to broccoli. Broccoli is another cool season vegetable that struggles in April heat. It needs consistent cool temperatures to form large, healthy heads. But when planted in April, the heat causes it to produce small, loose heads or bolt prematurely. The result is disappointing growth and poor quality vegetables. Cabbage falls into the same category. Cabbage requires cool weather to grow properly. When exposed to heat early in its growth stage, it fails to form tight heads. Instead, it grows loosely or bolts. Many beginners plant cabbage in April and wonder why it never forms properly. The timing is simply wrong. Now let's discuss cauliflower. Cauliflower is even more sensitive than cabbage. It requires very specific temperature conditions to develop properly. Too much heat, and it fails completely. Planting it in April often leads to small, deformed heads or no heads at all. Next is radishes. Radishes grow very fast, but they hate heat. When planted in April, especially toward the middle or end of the month, they become woody, spicy, and hollow inside. Instead of crisp, juicy radishes, you get something almost inedible. Now let's talk about arugula. Arugula grows quickly and tastes great in cool weather. But once temperatures rise, it bolts almost instantly. The leaves become extremely bitter and unusable. So planting arugula in April is a very short-lived success. Carrots might surprise you. While carrots can tolerate some warmth, planting them late in April can cause problems. High temperatures affect germination and root development. Instead of straight, healthy carrots, you often get small, misshapen ones. Now let's move to herbs. Cilantro is a big one. Cilantro hates heat. It bolts very quickly once temperatures rise. If you plant it in April, it may grow for a short time, but then suddenly shoot up and produce seeds. The leaves lose their flavor, and the plant becomes useless for harvesting. Dill behaves similarly. Dill prefers cooler weather and will quickly bolt in April heat. Once it flowers, the leaves lose their strong flavor. Now, let's talk about strawberries. Planting strawberries in April might seem like a good idea, but it's not ideal in many regions. They need time to establish roots before hot weather arrives. Planting them too late exposes them to stress, reducing fruit production. You may get very few strawberries, or none at all. Another mistake is planting potatoes too late. Potatoes prefer cooler soil during their early growth. If planted in April, in warmer climates, the heat affects tuber development. This leads to smaller yields and poor quality potatoes. Now, let's talk about a big mistake: planting all plants at once. April creates excitement, and many people try to plant everything in their garden. But not all plants are meant for this time. Some are summer crops, some are winter crops, and some need very specific conditions. Understanding timing is the key to successful gardening. Now, here's something important. Avoiding these plants doesn't mean you can't grow anything in April. In fact, April is perfect for many warm season crops. But knowing what not to plant is just as important as knowing what to plant. Because one wrong decision can ruin weeks of effort. Another common mistake is ignoring your local climate. April in one region is very different from April in another. Some areas are already hot, while others are still cool. Always consider your local temperature before planting anything. Blindly following general advice can lead to failure. So before you plant anything this April, ask yourself one question. Does this plant love heat? Or does it prefer cool weather? If it prefers cool weather, you're already too late. Timing is everything in gardening. The right plant at the wrong time will always fail. But the right plant at the right time will thrive with very little effort. That's the difference between a struggling garden and a successful one. So avoid these plants in April. Make smarter choices, and your garden will thank you.